The Lunaverse by Rainbow Double Dash. Episode 10, Scootalong to the Tier by Blackbelt. Chapter 1, A Story from Cheerilee. A lone mare sat in the classroom of Ponyville School. She cloaked herself in a long, black, warm-looking cloak. Despite it being springtime, she sat in silence, rage and anger encompassing her very being. Then a soft knock came at the door. Barely audible. The mare smiled a wicked smile. She had been waiting for that knock. "Enter!" she yelled. Slowly, ever so slowly, the door opened, and an Earth Pony stallion walked in. His fur was bright orange, with a messy black mane. Upon his flank was a wagon's wheel, and a sudden gust of wind shut the door behind him with a loud bang! He stared at the interior of the schoolhouse. The room seemed to be filled with darkness. The curtains drawn close, only a lone candle at the other end of the room providing light. The light did very little to remove the feeling of dread that permeated from all corners of the room. He swore he could hear an organ playing in a most frightening tune, and off in the distance he heard a crow cry. For the first time in many years, he knew true fear. And then he saw the cloaked figure at the head of the room, her face obscured, waves of black anger radiating from her very soul to permeate the room.
"Miss Cheerilee," he began, "I just got the note from my daughter, and—"
"Sit!" Cheerilee interrupted, pointing at what would, in any other circumstance, be a very comfortable chair. The stallion immediately rushed to the chair and sat. "Heavy roller!" Cheerilee said. "Your daughter's behavior has been most reprehensible on this day, and it is time to discuss a course of action to determine the most efficient manner to rectify this situation."
"I hereby leave my decorative star-class collection to my brother High. The rest of my estate shall be auctioned off to the highest bidder. The bids put into a savings account, to be only accessible to my daughter of her coming of age."
Heavy Roller began silently reciting his will to himself. "And it was upon this day that I have summoned you here. Now hear me out as we come to the optimum solution!" Cheerilee sounded again.
"You know, she actually sounds kind of funny."
Heavy Roller thought to himself. Heavy Roller breathed in a deep breath and immediately relaxed.
"Okay. Before we continue, you can stop with the royal ominous voice thing. You don't exactly pull it off very well."
Well..."
"And do you gotta wear that cloak? I mean, seriously. It's hot as Tartarus in here."
"I'm not taking off the cloak. I can't take off the cloak."
"Oh, come on. I can tell you're sweating. And seriously, if you want to have a serious discussion concerning my daughter's behavior, we have to be open with each other, and the cloak creates a level of intimidation that will only make things difficult."
Cheerilee thought to herself. "Do you promise not to laugh?"
"What?"
the stallion asked, expecting many responses besides that one. "Do you promise not to laugh?" Cheerilee repeated.
"I promise."
Heavy Roller said in a voice that he could not muster. "This one, and well," Cheerilee thought, "I really don't even want to be here." Cheerilee slowly removed the cloak that shrouded her form. To his credit, Heavy Roller did not laugh. He did not laugh when he saw the fact that Cheerilee was wearing an eye patch, that she was wearing a bandage around her head, that a giant piece of her mane was missing, her right foreleg bore a color scheme similar to a rainbow, and that the rest of her fur was matted with mud. He did not laugh! He did, however, scream at a pitch several high octaves higher than one would think would be possible for a stallion his age. Ah! And he would swear on his deathbed that he never screamed on that pitch. After taking a moment to catch his breath, Heavy Roller already knew the answer, but he felt like he had to ask anyway.
"Scootaloo did all this in one day?"
Cheerilee nodded, her face red with embarrassment. My little pony, ah, my little pony, the friendship never meant that much to me, my little pony, but you're all here now I can see. Stormy weather, lots to share, a musical bond with love and care, teaching laughter, it's an easy feat, and magic makes it all complete. You have my little ponies. How did I ever make it so many true friends? Lunaverse, created by Rainbow Double Dash. Presented by Hasbro. It can happen only on the Hub. The Hub forever. Peace, man. Cheerilee kept her head down, staring down at her hooves, doing her best to ignore the rainbow-colored one, and hoping that Heavy Roller wasn't staring, or silently laughing at her, or thinking of telling everyone he knew about her current state, or...
Miss Cheerilee?
Heavy Roller asked. Yes, Mr. Roller. How long had I been staring at my hooves?
I realize this is supposed to be a serious discussion between two adults, but...
Cheerilee gulped, nervousness permeating her being.
I have to ask, how exactly does Scootaloo manage to do all this?
That's actually a good question. I still have trouble believing all of this happened.
Well, considering the fact that I have nothing else planned for the rest of the day, and that my daughter is the one responsible, I am all for talking about this.
Oh, well, it's not like I have anything to lose. Cheerilee thought to herself. It all started this morning. Wow, we actually had money for a flashback machine? Just got it this morning. Thank you, Trixie. It all started 30 minutes before school would start for today. I was sitting at my desk, looking over today's lesson plans and eating a nice breakfast of coffee and a hay sandwich. Through the walls, I could hear the kids outside, playing out in the yard. I'm honestly kind of envious about how much energy falls have. And then I heard a sound that was concurrent with a baseball smashing through a window, and suddenly felt a very sharp pain on my head. And that's why I have a bandage on my head. Heavy Roller's gaze darted from Cheerilee's eyes to the bandage that she donned on her head.
You got hit with a baseball in the head early in the morning, and yet you went through the rest of the school day with that injury.
Yes.
Is she made of iron or something?
He thought to himself. The other thought occurred to him.
Wait, how do you know Scootaloo is responsible for this?
Well... Oh, dear sweet Luna, Cheerilee! I am so sorry. Please don't expel me. I didn't mean to hit the bell through the window.
Oh.
Silence.
So,
Heavy Roller sighed.
What happened next?
Arts and crafts happened. Okay, class. I called out to the class, trying very hard to ignore the fact that all eyes were glued to the bandits. Today for Arts and Crafts, we are going to decide flyers for next week's school talent show. I want you all to do your best you can. Remember, class, these flyers will be posted around town. I walked around the class, checking the students' progress. Everything was progressing regularly. And then Scootaloo, right on schedule, got frustrated. This isn't working, dumb flyer! She yelled, just as she usually does when she gets frustrated during an arts project. What she did differently this time was that she tossed her project in the air in frustration. Usually, she just rips to shreds and lets the pieces fall to the floor. No, for some reason, she chose to throw her projects to the air for frustration. It landed right in my mane. I became painfully aware of 3 basic facts at this point. 1. It landed face down. 2. Scootaloo used a truly superfluous and extravagant amount of glue. 3. The glue was very sticky, and it was caught in my mane! No, I did not scream, get it off. Heavy Roller shot a look at Cheerilee that said,
Seriously?
Cheerilee sighed. Get it off! Get it off! I yelled. I'm not really sure what happened after that. All I know is that chaos ensued for about 30 seconds. Then a loud sound broke through all of that. I prayed to Luna that was the sound of paper ripping. It was not the sound of paper ripping. Scootaloo had gotten the paper off my head, and with it a good portion of my mane. In retrospect, the look on Scootaloo's face was pretty funny.
Didn't that hurt?
Not really. I was too focused on the very sticky paper on my head, and now I'm worried about how I'm supposed to deal with my mane.
You know, you could always try combing over.
No! Cheerilee yelled. I am far too young to have a comb-over! I'm not some old grandma! I'm too young for this!
Note to self, never talk about her age.
Heavy Roller wisely added that advice to the rules of his life. The next incident, Cheerilee continued, was during lunchtime. I was sitting under a tree during lunchtime, calmly eating my lunch. The students kept a 30-foot radius from me. Every so often, one of them would stare, but would quickly leave until Scootaloo came along. Miss Cheerilee, she said, her voice absolutely dripping with apology and general sorry. I admit, a part of me just wanted to tell her to go away. What with the giant bandage on my head and the giant portion of my mane sitting in the trash can. But I couldn't do that. One of the reasons I became a teacher was to always be there for my students, no matter what. Yes, Scootaloo. She stared down at her hooves, shifting her weight around nervously. She shook her head. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do any of that to you. It was an accident. I could feel my heart breaking. She was crying. Please don't hate me, she cried. I gasped. Scootaloo! I can never hate any of my students. Really? Really. You're all very special to me. Now, dry those tears. You have nothing to worry about. I will never hate you.
That is so adorable.
Heavy Roller commented gently. Cheerilee's face turned red.
So, I'm guessing things didn't stay so good, am I right?
Cheerilee nodded. I, have a present for you. Oh, yeah. It's a jar of liquid rainbow. Cheerilee stared down at her right foreleg. Heavy Roller also stared to her at...
So, that's how...
Yeah. How...
exactly did it end up being in a jar decoding your leg?
Honestly, I'm still confused on that part. Actually, now that I think about it, why would she even have a jar of that stuff? Cheerilee pondered.
She likes to dip her chips in it.
Heavy Roller answered.
Honestly, I'm surprised her digestion can take it. That stuff is easily the hottest, spiciest stuff I've ever eaten.
So, for the afternoon, the class had a special guest to discuss how the night court operates. Behold, as the great and powerful Trixie amazes you with feats of daring beyond your wildest imaginations! The class instantly became very excited, I admit. I would have loved to see her perform a magic show as much as the students did. Unfortunately, sometimes a teacher has to rein in her students, or, in this case, her guest speakers. Trixie, I sighed. We talked about this. You're here to talk about the government, not perform a magic show. Trixie looked at me. What happened to you? She asked, a bit louder than I intended. I heard a noise that sounded like a soft scream of anguish from the back of the class. Nothing out of the ordinary. Teachers go through this kind of stuff every day, I said with as straight a face as I could muster, given the circumstances. Now then, Representative, would you be so kind as to explain to the class what role the night court plays in Equestria? I admit it was a bit mean to make such a demand, what with Trixie being so surprised at my condition, and me appearing to shake it off as it was nothing. But she immediately complied. I should talk to her later and explain what actually happened, lest she thinks all the children in town are little Tartarus raisers. The night court was first established in the 13th year of the Lunarian calendar. She began to address the class. I could tell she was nervous, perhaps a bit fearful of what these kids might do to her. I really need to explain everything to her. But I digress. It was about 30 minutes into her lecture when it happened. She was talking about a recent visit she took to the night court. Blah, 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 blah.
You weren't even paying attention to what she was saying?
Heavy Roller was a bit shocked.
And here I thought she paid attention to everything that happens.
I should probably get back on the subject, Cheerilee thought nervously. Anyway, while Trixie was lecturing the class, Scoot...
What were you doing that distracted you so much?
No, I can't answer that. I'll be humiliated. Wait a minute. I'm wearing an eye patch. I'm covered in mud. Half my mane is missing. My left leg is rainbow colored. And I have a bandage on my head. I was reading the newspaper. I didn't get the chance to this morning, and I was too frustrated during lunch to do it. I knew Trixie would be able to handle the class on her own. In retrospect, if I was paying more attention, perhaps I wouldn't be wearing an eye patch right now. Trixie was continuing to lecture about the night court to class, and the role it served in Equestria's government, and I was reading, well, I don't remember the exact article. My eyes were wide and unblinking, taking my time with the paper, since I knew Trixie would be talking for a while. I wish I would have been taking a nap like I originally wanted to, but my dedication to the job stopped me from doing that. So I read the newspaper, stopping every so often to make sure every pony in class was paying attention. About 45 minutes after Trixie's presentation started, and that, Colts and Billies, is why you should never, ever put candy on your pizza before going through a security checkpoint headed by the captain of the guard. I gotta know. I have to know. Trixie, no, you don't! You know, I wish I had been paying more attention. That sounds like a really cool story. It was at that moment that I decided to check up on the class. I looked up from the paper, and I saw it. A paper glider heading straight for me. Alas, I could not dodge it in time. It hit me right in my eye.
Wait a minute.
Heavy Roller interrupted.
A paper glider might have hurt a bit, but you wouldn't need an iPad for it.
Normally, I agree with you, but... Cheerilee trailed off. Mr. Roller, have you ever gotten a paper cut?
Yeah, kinda hurt, but...
His eyes suddenly widened as he stared at Cheerilee. She stared back, unflinching resolve in her visible eye.
I didn't know it was possible to get a paper cut on your eyeball.
Neither did I. Thank Luna Trixie knew some basic medical spells to stop the bleeding and make sure my vision would be alright.
And the paper glider belonged to Scootaloo?
He asked weakly, knowing the answer already. Yes! Apparently Scootaloo had been having an argument with Diamond Tiara via notes on written paper gliders, and Scootaloo threw the last note a bit too hard.
And this might seem hardly immature, but what did the note say?
It said, and I quote, up yours. Both Heavy Roller and Cheerilee stared for a moment. Then both of them began to laugh.
That's my girl.
Heavy Roller finally managed to speak, catching his breath. I would have loved to read all the notes. I bet it was a very engaging conversation. Both their laughter slowly died down. Cheerilee sighed for what felt like the 100th time since their conversation started. There's one more thing that Scootaloo did. But it happened outside of school hours, so...
You better tell me about it all anyway. If I don't hear about it now, I'm sure someone in town will tell me about...
After the incident with the paper glider, Trixie volunteered to help keep track of the kids for the rest of the day, which was only about another 45 minutes. I slept through those 45 minutes, or at least I tried to. After everything happened, I just wanted to go relax, go to the spa to get pampered, and get the rainbow out of my leg. I ran it under the hose for a good 10 minutes and refused it to wash out. I was walking through the alleyways towards the spa once I finally worked up the courage to walk out of the schoolhouse. It didn't take the main road, though, since I wanted to keep the ponies who saw my state to a bare minimum. I should have gotten back onto the main road when I got to a particularly muddy alley. I admit, I was confused. I had thought some of the weather Pegasus just needed to drain a cloud for some reason. I was right in saying it was a Pegasus who did it. I was wrong in thinking it was a weather Pegasus. Suddenly, Scootaloo came along on a surfboard, somehow surfing on the mud, a giant grin on her face. Then she rode by me and splashed me head to tail in mud. She made a full stop and stared. She looked scared. Very scared. I stared back, doing my absolute best not to look mad, annoyed, or even slightly flustered. Miss Cheerilee? She sounded frightened. I wasn't so sure what I could say at that point. I just stared for a few seconds. Luckily, I was only about a block away from the spa. I decided to just walk away and head to the spa without saying anything. I got to the spa, and there was a note on the door. Big convention in Las Pegasus. Be back next week. Aloe and Lotus. Chapter 2. Panicking with Scootaloo. Big convention in Las Pegasus. Be back next week. Aloe and Lotus. Cheerilee read the note that was on the door of the local spa. She hoped beyond hope that she had somehow read it incorrectly. She sadly prayed to the Shepherd of the Moon, caretaker of the Sun, mistress of the Star Beasts, sovereign of the three tribes, ruler of the land of Equestria, her royal majesty, Princess Luna Equestrius, that the sign was not saying it was, in fact, saying, I have endured enough! Cheerilee calmly reached into her saddlebag, revealing a black cloak she draped over herself, then immediately spun around, walking back toward the alley where she had lain Scootaloo. She found the dreaded target of her ire sitting in the alley, right where she had left her. She stomped loudly toward the young filly, garnering her attention immediately. Scootaloo! Cheerilee stared simply, her eyes staring into Scootaloo's very soul. I leave my doll action figure collection to Sleebell. The rest of my possessions are to be donated to charity. Scootaloo thought to herself. Yes, Miss Cheerilee? Tell me, dear child! Your father is at home at this time, correct? Scootaloo nodded furiously, desperately trying not to wet herself. Cheerilee very calmly pulled a quill and scroll out of her saddlebags, quickly wrote something down, and handed the scroll to Scootaloo. You shall deliver this missile to your father immediately! I shall be waiting at the schoolhouse. Do not try to back out of this responsibility! If you do, I will know, and that will make me most furious! Scootaloo ran faster than she ever had before, weaving her way between buildings and ponies alike, until she arrived at her destination. Heavy Roller's wagon, cart, and wheel repair shop. Or as she called it, home. She stopped at the front door, caught her breath, and walked through the door as calmly as she could muster, navigating the wheels and wagons of various states of repair that populated the first floor of her home, otherwise known as the garage area, until she slowly made it to the stairs that led to the living room. Scootaloo gulped and slowly climbed up the stairs. She saw her father sitting at a table that sat in the middle of the sparsely decorated room, his back to her. Better get this over with, Scootaloo thought. Dad! Heavy Roller's ear twitched slightly. Then he turned, greeting Scootaloo with a huge smile on his face.
Hey there, Scoots. How was school today?
Please don't freak out, please don't freak out, please don't freak out, please don't freak out, please don't freak out. School was, I got sent home with a note, and I think you might need to go to school for a parent-teacher conference. Please don't be mad at me! Scootaloo thrust the note forward. Heavy Roller stared down at his daughter.
I better just read the note and do what it says. She might freak out otherwise.
He calmly took the note for Scootaloo, opened it gently, and read it to himself.
Your presence is requested at the schoolhouse so that we may discuss Scootaloo's behavior. Cheerilee. So, interesting day at school then?
Heavy Roller realized that saying that was a mistake when he saw tears forming on Scootaloo's eyes. It was all an accident! She choked out, not daring to look up, choosing instead to stare at the ground. She felt a soft pat on her head.
It's okay, Scootaloo. I'm sure Cheerilee understands that. I'll go talk to her and get all of this squared away. Everything will be fine.
Thanks, Dad.
Dry those tears. And then once this is all figured out, we'll go out to eat.
Scootaloo looked up, holding back any further tears from her eyes. I'd like that. Thanks, Dad. She smiled. She continued to smile as her dad walked down the stairs. She smiled as she heard her footsteps on the ground. She stopped smiling once she heard the front door slam shut. I am so going to die! She yelled. Cheerilee will talk to my dad, and he'll believe her, and I'll be punished, even though what really happened was really bad. But I didn't mean to hurt her. But even Trixie said today's selection that once is a coincidence, twice is a conspiracy. But it happened at least 100 times in one day. My life is over. I'll be doomed. Scootaloo banged her head against the wall with a loud thud. Dude! 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 Clunk. Scootaloo's attention was drawn towards a picture that had fallen off the wall. She slowly walked over to the picture. The picture was a several-year-old picture of a Pegasus mare, wearing the armor of a Night Guard soldier, her black fur contrasting greatly with the purple mane that peeked out from her helmet. Upon her face, she wore a smile. Tears from Scootaloo's eyes suddenly dried. A look of determination came upon her face. I'm not doomed yet! I can still make up for this! Mom wouldn't have given up, and neither will I! She ran into her room, grabbing an empty saddlebag and a small child wagon. She brought both with her downstairs, where her scooter was parked. She hitched the wagon up to the scooter, tossed the saddlebags to the wagon, then rode on the front door, her wings flapping as fast as they were able to. As she sped through town, she began to formulate her course of action in her head. First things first, I'm going to need some bits to get a nice gift to start things off. I don't have enough time to get a part-time job, and I can't get the money for Dad. And I can't go to the bank, not since the time me and Sleebell played cops and robbers in there. She chuckled to herself, recalling all the mayhem that followed. I guess the only other option is to see if I could borrow money from one of my classmates. But the only ponies I've seen walking to class with a lot of money have been Dinky. Although, she had to save up for a year for that. No, I can't ask her for a favor. And she'll never lend me the bits. She'll never forgive me if I had to ask for help. I can't ask Tiara for help. Miss Tiara! A young green-furred, orange-made unicorn wearing a particularly fairy maid uniform said, just loud enough so she could be heard through the closed door, where her boss's daughter currently resided. There's a young filly at the front door requesting an audience with you. Tell her I'm not home. Silver Spoon is still off visiting relatives, so who else would want to come and visit? She was very insistent upon seeing you as soon as possible, miss. I told you to tell her I'm not at home. I may have already told her that you were home. Then tell her to leave. The door sullenly spoke at the roar of her voice. Miss, once she learned that you were at home, she said she would not leave until she talked to you. Silence for a second. Fine! Since you're so useless at your job, I'll go tell her to go home myself. Where is she? Right downstairs in the living room. Please don't let me! The man blurted out. The door slammed open. Diamond Tiara walked out, her posture portraying a level of grace and annoyance beyond what she usually walked around with. Her tiara sparked in the light before she turned around to the maid. And once I'm done with her, I'll be speaking to my father about you. The maid stayed silent, afraid to further annoy the young filly. As Diamond Tiara thought to herself as she walked downstairs, this filly chose the wrong time to mess with me. It's bad enough that Silver Spoon had to ruin our plans for the talent show by leaving town to visit her dumb relatives. And now I have a stupid maid to deal with, and this jerk filly who wants to bother me as I figure out a new act. Oh, she is going to get it good. It's a right dazzle. Meow. Diamond Tiara took her time walking to the living room, relishing the opportunity to vent some stress. As she entered the room, she began her rant. Hey, you! I know that stupid maid let you in, but you can take your flank and... She suddenly stopped, very suddenly, when she saw who was sitting on the couch. Oh my God. It's Scootaloo, and she's at my house! This is like a dream come true, and... Focus, Diamond! You can't mess this up. But be nice. But wait, you have a reputation to uphold. But we're not in public, so I could be nice to her and maybe have her become my friend. That would be so fabulous because she's awesome! But wait, she would tell everyone about what happens. Oh, I don't know what to do! $5 if you people got that joke. Are you okay? Your face is all red. Scootaloo stated, breaking down Tiara's thoughts. I'm fine. What's it to you? No! For once in your life, don't be a bully! I'm sorry, you looked a bit sick, and I was just being nice and asking if you were okay. I don't need some filly asking me about my health, but thank you for caring. The room fell into a silence for a few grievously long seconds. Scootaloo sighed. Oh, look, I'm here to discuss business, all right? Not only start to confuse Diamond Tiara even further, then the sight of the most stunning Pegasus in the world suddenly being in her home. Business? When did you become a business pony? Look, let me speak, and then I'll get out of your mate, all right? DT thought for a moment, then walked to the couch and sat next to Scootaloo, though not as close to Scootaloo as she would have liked to be. Not that she would ever admit that. And cleared her throat. Very well, then. I'll spare some of my
valuable time to hear your business, but make it quick. I'm a busy mayor with a busy schedule. Damn it! Don't tell her to make it quick. I wish she would stick around. No! It would be bad if she hung around too long.
Tiara began to wish that she could make up its mind what it didn't want. I get straight to the point. I need to borrow some bits.
So she isn't here because of who I am. She's here because of what my father has accomplished, just like everyone else. And here I thought someone as magnificent as her would be different.
Tiara tried to hide the look of pain in her voice as she spoke.
Out!
Huh?
Get out of my house! What? I'm not going to give you any bits! If you want bits, go get a job! I refuse to be some kind of sugar mayor just so you can get a new scooter or whatever it is you want to buy with your bits! So, leave now!
Tiara stared with the best death glare she could muster at Scootaloo. A look of realization crossed Scootaloo's face.
Of course! She probably has ponies bothering her for money all the time. It's not for me! It's Miss Cheerilee. What?
Tiara's jaw dropped at that revelation.
But...
Tiara shook her head, curling the confusion from her brain.
But weren't you spending all day pranking her? Wait, you're not going to do it again, are you? I love a good prank as much as the next pony, but haven't you done enough?
Time seemed to stop for a moment for Scootaloo. In her mind, she ran through the day so far, her first fear was realized. The fears that ponies, and probably Miss Cheerilee, would think everything that had happened that day was deliberate. She stared at the ceiling, not wanting to look Tiara in the eyes as she spoke softly and slowly.
I never wanted any of that to happen. Miss Cheerilee is the best teacher ever. I wouldn't want to hurt her. I don't know why all those things happened, but right now, she's talking to my dad about what happened today. I'm worried that Miss Cheerilee thinks the same thing you do, that I did everything on purpose. But I didn't! And all I want to do is apologize while I still had the chance. I know I'm not the best student. I know I fall asleep in class a lot. I know I thrust Miss Cheerilee a lot. But today was all an accident. And I want to make it up for her. And you want to buy her a gift? You don't have enough bits to do that right now. And not enough time to work for them.
Tiara finished. Scootaloo stopped staring at the ceiling and stared back at Tiara, trying very hard to hide the fact she was crying. She failed. Tiara shuffled off the couch, went over to the table that sat behind the couch, and came back with a box of tissues bouncing on her back. She deposited the box in front of Scootaloo.
Make yourself decent. You're going to stain my couch.
Scootaloo was barely able to mutter thanks before she grabbed a hook full of tissues and began crying more openly. Tiara sat back down, trying very hard to look anywhere else except directly at Scootaloo.
She is different. Those other ponies wouldn't even think badly of what had transpired, but she legitimately wants to make up, and she isn't willing to just stand by and let things unfold, like I would.
Tiara thought.
She is truly the most dazzling pony ever!
Guys, I just want to let you know as I read this, something there that wasn't there before from Beauty and the Beast started playing in my head. I don't know how that happened, but it did. Thank you. Tiara waited a few minutes, letting Scootaloo cry in peace. She spoke when Scootaloo calmed down a bit.
Alright, Miss Lou. You need bits in order to make up with Cheerilee. I can provide you with bits to purchase the most glorious of gifts.
Scootaloo began to smile, until she noticed that gleam in Tiara's eyes.
However, just because I am able to lend you bits does not mean I'm obligated to. I will require payment.
I can pay back the bits next month easily, Scootaloo answered instantly. A wicked smile crossed Tiara's face.
My dear, I am not worried about the bits. Daddy can supply me enough with the bits. No, what I need is a favor.
Favor? For the second time that day, Scootaloo knew fear.
Exactly.
What kind of favor?
Well, I could ask her to. No, I could never ask her that. But I really want to. No! Ask something else. Do I have to ask something else? Come on! You can think of something. I got it! The talent show.
Tiara stated calmly and coolly, showing none of the inner turmoil she went through to make her decision.
Huh? Silver Spoon and I were planning on performing in it, but she was called away on a family visit. But I think you would be able to fill her spot adequately.
What kind of performance do you have in mind?
Yeah, it's a secret.
What? You're not even going to tell me?
Details of the performance cannot be linked to the general public until the night of the show. The fact that I have no idea what the actual performance will consist of has nothing to do with that.
I can't agree to this.
Then I guess you don't need the bits then. Ugh.
Tiara laughed softly to herself.
I have you right where I want you. You'll be working for me, and we make sure that everyone in Ponyville knows the splendor that is Diamond Tiara. Oh, and I'll have to talk to my tailor. She can make us the cutest matching outfits for the show.
Scootaloo could only watch as a giant, gleeful, blissful smile appeared on Diamond Tiara's face. Man, that's creepy. All right, I accept. I'll perform in a talent show with you. Just give me the bits. Diamond Tiara was broken out of her thoughts when another wicked idea crossed her mind.
Oh, no. I just can't give you the bits. I have to ensure that they are spent on a gift for Cheerilee.
Please don't let her say what I think she's going to say.
I shall be accompanying you.
Chapter 3. Scootaloo and Diamond Tiara go shopping for Miss Cheerilee. Yay!
I shall be accompanying you.
The words kept echoing in Scootaloo's head as she waited outside in a wretched state, wondering what was keeping Diamond Tiara so long to leave. Oh, just take a moment, she said. I'll just grab a few things, she said. Huh. Scootaloo spoke to no one in particular, and why would she want to come along anyway? Inside the house, things were going very differently.
What should I wear? What kind of outfit would Scootaloo wear for this kind of thing? Should it be fancy or simple? Red or blue? Skirt or shorts? Somebody tell me!
Diamond Tiara was rummaging through her closet, looking at every dress, outfit, and ensemble she owned, desperately seeking for an appropriate look for the afternoon's venture. She scrambled to her room, digging through her dresser drawer. Her inane ramblings continued, until a voice rang out.
May I make a suggestion, miss?
Diamond Tiara turned to the source of the voice. It was the maid from earlier.
Thanks for not turning Scootaloo away. Didn't I tell you that I would do you later?
The maid flinched, fighting every impulse to telling her to run, but she kept talking.
Since you are accompanying a guest who is already prepped for the trip, would it not be best for you to dress seriously to your guest, so as not to make your guest feel over or underdressed for the occasion?
Diamond Tiara walked slowly and deliberately toward the maid, a blank look on her face. When she was face to face with the maid, Diamond Tiara spoke.
Oh, what is your name?
The question confused the maid.
Why would she want my name? She usually just says, hey you, or calls me maid. What is your name?
Diamond Tiara repeated.
Dustbuster, miss.
Diamond Tiara hugged Dustbuster around the foreleg.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You always give the best advice, not to mention letting Scootaloo inside the first place. You're so helpful. I'll make sure to tell my dad you give you a raise. You earned it. Who are you, and what have you done with the little brat that I have to constantly deal with every day? I see. You know what? I'm just going to go with this. Thank you very much, miss. Is there anything else I can do to help? No, thank you. I can finish getting ready on my own. In that case, miss, would I ask you to let go of my leg? You are cutting out the circulation. Oh, I'm sorry. What the hell am I doing?
Diamond Tiara very quickly let go of Dustbuster's leg and went back to rummaging through a random pile of clothes, pulling out a saddlebag, which jangled at the sound of bits, which she quickly put on. Then she proceeded to her fancy mirror, looked herself over, made sure her tree-marked tiara was on straight, to walk past the maid out the room. Before she got downstairs, she asked,
When my father gets home, tell him I will be out. And what shall I tell him when he tells us when you'll be back?
Dustbuster yelled back. The question caused Diamond Tiara to stop before she began to descend the staircase and think.
That is a good question. How long am I going to be helping Scootaloo? I mean, if it was my choice, I'd be helping her all afternoon and well into the evening. Well, maybe so late that she will let me spend the night or have dinner with her.
Don't be stupid, Tiara. You're just a means to an end to her.
Still, it doesn't hurt to dream. I may spend an evening at the night at her house.
Sea Lion as she began her descent of the stairs. She managed to exit her house before Dustbuster belted out any more uncomfortable questions. It was immediately assaulted with questions for Scootaloo. What kept you? Are you ready to leave?
Yes, I am ready. It's so rude to make a lady hear us.
Yeah. Just hop onto the wagon and we'll get going. Diamond Tiara blinked.
Oh, we're not walking.
Scootaloo raised her eyebrow and put on her best, are you kidding me, face. Are you kidding me? The scooter and the wagon will be faster. And we don't have all the time in the world. Besides, you just get to ride and not have to lift a hoof. Why would you want to walk?
So, I can walk with you for a long time and enjoy every second of it. If you insist, then.
Diamond Tiara walked past Scootaloo and hopped in the wagon.
Oh, well, since you're in a rush, let's go.
Scootaloo smiled. Oh, I plan to. Diamond Tiara barely had time to utter out what before Scootaloo flapped her wings as fast as he could and propelled the scooter wagon forward at speeds far exceeding the factory recommended speeds for either of those things. Both fillies began to scream, one with the hot-blooded scream of a battle, the other screaming with dripping with fear. After a blistering last few minutes, the scooter and wagon combo came to a stop in front of Ponyville's premier candy store. Bonbons. Diamond Tiara attempted to jump out of the wagon to get her blue hose blessedly on solid, unmoving ground, but her sticky legs refused to respond properly, resulting in her face planting on the ground. Alright, you okay? Scootaloo asked, worry in her voice.
No, you absolutely not. You're a mad filly, and scooters and wagons should not be allowed to go that fast. But why was it so much fun then?
Diamond Tiara thought to herself, before slowly getting herself off the ground and onto her hooves. The previous thinking is forgotten.
I'm fine. And now, let's go inside and buy whatever it is you want to buy from this low-rent excuse for a candy store and get going.
Low rent? The candy here is delicious.
I doubt it stands up to the candy my daddy orders for me straight from Canterlot.
Wait, you never bought candy here from before?
Oh, why would I waste my time?
Scootaloo was stunned. Since when has candy ever been a waste of time? She wanted to yell, but chose to instead just hide inside the store delectable delicacies, beckoning Diamond Tiara to follow her. Inside the store were two mares. One of them was a green-colored pony with a pink and blue-colored mane, who was sitting behind the counter, reading her way through a stack of papers. The other mare was a mint-green unicorn, who was sitting on a stool in a fashion that made both Scootaloo and Diamond Tiara wonder how she sat without breaking something. She was strumming a lyre with her hoof, as she stared at the other mare with a look Diamond Tiara has given to Scootaloo far too many times to count. Though, unlike Scootaloo, the green-colored pony was perfectly aware of the fact that she was getting that look. Scootaloo chose to break the silence of that scene in a very loud manner. Hi, Lyra and Bonbon! Both mares shook their heads, concentrations broken by the yelling. Bonbon immediately shuffled into savings mode, and Lyra began playing a different song, sounding a lot more tearful.
Hi, Scootaloo.
Who's your friend? This is Diamond Tiara. Diamond Tiara waved her hoof at the candy sales mare. Her thoughts once again going very fast.
The candy salesman thinks Scootaloo and I are friends. When Scootaloo didn't try to correct her, does this mean she thinks of me as her friend now?
Scootaloo and Bonbon stared at Diamond Tiara as she stared to the distance, stuck in her own little world.
She seems to do that very so often. Don't mind her.
Scootaloo muttered. Anyway, to business. You're friends with Miss Cheerilee, right? Bonbon nodded in affirmation. Lyra's ears suddenly perked up, wondering why Cheerilee's name had come out of nowhere.
Do you know what kind of candy she likes best?
We're here to get her a gift. Once again, Bonbon nodded.
Oh, yeah. She really likes to buy cherry drops. She gets a bag of them every time she visits. So, that'll be one bag?
Better make it two.
Why two?
This is an apology gift. Lyra's heart suddenly stopped. Apology? What happened? Lyra asked, worried.
Well,
Scootaloo began, but was before being interrupted by Diamond Tiara.
Don't worry. Miss Cheerilee, it's fine. Just an interesting day at school is all.
Everyone else raised their eyebrows at that.
So, how many bits do I owe you for what Scootaloo needs to buy?
Diamond Tiara continued, attempting to change the subject. Bonbon and Lyra looked in each other's directions briefly. Lyra then continued playing her lyre, and Bonbon said,
That'll be 6 bits. Is there anything else you would wish to purchase? do you sell any empty gift baskets? Scootaloo asked sheepishly. Bonbon pointed to a small display that sat opposite Elira. We sell those baskets for 5 bits each, though they're a bit big for just 2 bags of black cherry bombs. I'm going to be buying more candy, so yeah, I'll take a basket too. Bonbon and Lyra saw each other aghast. Then that'll be 11 bits total. Diamond Tiara quickly dug around in her salad bag and fleshed out the necessary bits as Scootaloo gathered to purchase items. Thank you for your purchase. Please come again. Scootaloo walked to the doors. Diamond Tiara, on the other hoof, stayed behind, briefly saying to Scootaloo, Prepare the wagon. I'll be out in a second. The moment Scootaloo was outside of hearing range, Diamond Tiara quickly began talking. What kind of candy does Scootaloo usually buy from here? She usually buys the strawberry lollipops, but, please don't tell me they ran out. Her favorite is the rainbow chocolate bars. I'll take 2! Yes, perfect. A rare treat you can't get all the time. How much? 8 bits. Diamond Tiara quickly grabbed the bits, grabbed the candy bars, and stuck them into her salad bag, then ran outside. Bonbon and Lyra heard the sound of quickly flapping wings, followed by screaming. Then only the sound of Lyra's song could be heard. We should probably visit Cheerilee tomorrow and make sure she's all right, Bonbon said. Yeah. By the way, did you notice how funny Diamond Tiara was acting? She's got it bad, Lyra said, laughing to herself. Bonbon chuckled as well. Yeah. Reminds me of a certain green unicorn I knew as a kid. So, how long do you think it'll be until she works up the nerve to confess her feelings? No clue. Should be adorable when it happens, though. Lyra nodded, continuing to strum on her lyra. Gotta give her credit. She hides it very well. Divine, merciful ground, gifted to us by Princess Luna. Never before today do I know how valuable you are! Diamond Tiara thought to herself as the wagon came to a halt, and she stumbled out of the wagon, this time menacing to keep herself upright. Scootaloo was oblivious to Diamond Tiara's newfound reverence to the ground and walked off, gift basket in tow. Her next destination is slight, sweeping her way through the massive ponies that walked amongst the marketplace. Diamond Tiara quickly caught up and walked alongside her. So, what do you plan on getting Miss Cheerilee from the market? Diamond Tiara asked. I've seen Cheerilee drink the carrot juice from Carrot Top's farm a lot. She must really like it to drink it so much. But Carrot Top's stall is clear on the other side of the market. Why did we stop the wagon all the way on the other side? Because riding the scooter through here through all these ponies would be dangerous. Diamond Tiara gave a look of surprise at Scootaloo. Dangerous? With how fast you go. It's a wonder you haven't ended up in a full body cast. Honestly, if it was any pony besides you, I wouldn't be getting into that wagon. Diamond Tiara attempted to change the subject. Wait, so you're buying just more food? Yeah. You can't just stuff someone with food and expect forgiveness. You can't? If it was any pony else. It appears you're going to need my assistance for more than just bits. After we pick up the carrot juice, I'll pick the next place we go. But be thankful for my help. Please, I want to be helpful. Scootaloo looked like she was ready to argue further, but held back when she saw Carrot Top's stall. As usual, she wasn't getting much business and looked positively bored, but determined not to show how bored she was. Her look of determined boredom was replaced with surprise when she saw Diamond Tiara approaching her stall. What's the daughter of Filthy Rich? And she's headed this way. Okay, just make her a good impression on her. Right. How can I help you today? Carrot Top said as he put on a gently friendly smile. Off in the distance, Scootaloo thought she heard a sound that distinctly sounded like a squee. Ignoring the odd sound, Scootaloo spoke. 2 bottles of carrot juice, please. 4 bits, please. Diamond Tiara fished out the bits and tossed them lightly onto the counter as Scootaloo grabbed the 2 bottles of carrot juice and placed them into the gift basket. Carrot Top recognized the basket as coming from Bonbon's store. You're putting it together a gift basket for someone? Yep, it's for Miss Cheerilee, Scootaloo answered happily. Oh, what's the occasion? Oh, Miss Cheerilee is just spending some time talking with her dad is all. Diamond Tiara butted in, not wanting to needlessly worry some pony again. Now, come along, Scootaloo. We got more places to stop by. Scootaloo nodded, and they both walked off. Carrot Top, however, was stunned. Wait, Cheerilee and her dad? I didn't know she was stinking. I'll have to get all the juicy details from her tomorrow. Back at the wagon and scooter, Diamond Tiara detailed a plan to Scootaloo. All right, Scootaloo. I know exactly where we should go next. Scootaloo nodded, hanging on every word. I can say with absolute certainty that older mayors always enjoy jewelry, so we should go to Emmons the Star's fine jewelers. Seriously? Miss Cheerilee doesn't seem like the kind of pony to wear jewelry. Diamond Tiara sighed. Oh, just trust me, okay? I know all about this kind of stuff, but I can even pick out the perfect piece of jewelry for her. Accessorizing is my special talent at all. Diamond Tiara did a dramatic pose, showing off her Diamond Tiara cutie mark. Huh. And I thought that mark meant was that all you were good at was wearing jewelry. That's what everyone thinks. And I hate it. Diamond Tiara thought bitterly. She choked down her sadness and spoke with an air of confidence. Ha! Oh, let's head off then, and I will show you how good I am. I hope I can be good enough to impress you. Hi, Scootaloo. Hi, Diamond Tiara. Welcome to M&G Star's Fine Jewelry. Is there anything I can do to help you today? Dinky asked as the pair entered the jewelry shop. Dinky? You work at this jewelry shop now? Scootaloo and Diamond Tiara asked at the same time. I don't work here. I just help Miss Sparkler while my mom visits her mail route. Dinky replied, looking absolutely thrilled that she was helping. I wish to speak with Miss Star, if you would. I need to find something very specific, Diamond Tiara said. It was at that point Sparkler decided to make her presence known. It would be my pleasure to help such a valuable customer look for something. Just tell me what you're looking for, and I will do everything I can do to find it. Excellent. Scootaloo, you can wait here and talk to Dinky for a few minutes. I can handle everything here, Diamond Tiara said, walking toward the back of the store. Trixie began to converse with Sparkler, her voice too low for Scootaloo and Dinky to hear. So, you're hanging out with Diamond Tiara? Dinky asked, addressing the elephant in the room immediately. Dinky, she's helping me with something. Dinky's eyes widened. Helping? But she's a mini. Yep. She's helping you? Yep. But she's a mini. Yeah, but Scootaloo didn't really want to get into the deals he made to get Diamond Tiara's help. She's helping me, and I'm thankful she is. Dinky began to wonder whether or not there actually was something more to the comments Diamond Tiara made on that day when Dinky first met Sparkler. And Dinky dismissed that line of thinking just as quickly as it had been considered. On the other side of the store, a different conversation was occurring. Yes, these earrings would be perfect for Miss Cheerilee. How much do they cost? Diamond Tiara was referring to a pair of earrings made of a dull bronze metal, molded in the shape of a flower. The center embellished with a rose-quartered quartz gem. That particular pair of earrings cost 15 bits. Diamond Tiara was shocked. That's all? I couldn't give something so cheap as a gift. Well, you said it was perfect, right? Well, yes, but... Then don't worry. Your teacher will love it. Fine. I guess Miss Cheerilee doesn't know how cheap I'm being right now. Charkler chuckled. Is there anything else you need? Diamond Tiara looked at the earrings displayed once more, scanning them carefully. Then, honed in on one earring in particular. Unlike the others in the case, it did not come in a pair. It was a very simple circular shape, made of what appeared to be low-quality silver. To the point it was almost black. It was set with an orange topaz. Diamond Tiara thought it looked hideous, but she knew that on Scootaloo it would look lovely. What about that cheap one there? Diamond Tiara asked, pointing at the earrings he found. Ah, that one? Sparkler said. You sure you want it? It's the only one. Its partner was damaged and I was unable to repair it. It's fine. How much? Sparkler thought for a few moments. I can let you have it for 5 bits. Diamond Tiara had to hold back another argument on how cheap it was, but decided against it. Acceptable. 20 bits in total then, Diamond Tiara asked as he dug through her bag once more. Discovered to her horror, she only had 17 bits left. I'll just take the bronze ones, please. It's not like I'd ever be able to give Scootaloo that gold earring anyway. Tell you what, Miss Tiara, I can let you have the black one for just 2 bits. What?
Across the store, Scootaloo and Dinky were jolted by the sudden noise.
Honestly, I was just close to tossing it out. Besides, it's not like I'm hurting for business or anything. Take it.
Diamond Tiara looked at Sparkle suspiciously.
Oh, what's your angle?
Sparkle raised her eyebrow but said nothing.
Why would you do something that would directly damage your bottom line? It makes no sense. You wouldn't be getting anything out of it, so why?
Because it looks like you really want it, and no one else has given it a second look.
So, it still doesn't make sense for you to do it.
Sparkle sighed. You get your dad to spend 700 bits on a necklace for you, and then you freak out over a 3-bit discount. Just take the deal, alright?
I'll pay you back the 3 bits later. A prompt businessman should never incur any unnecessary debt.
Sparkle suddenly had the urge to get a drink. Okay, I'll box these up for you. Outside, Diamond Tiara broke the news.
I'm out of bits. I guess you'll go off now and finish things off your own. It was nice while it lasted, even the dangerous parts.
Well, what do we do now?
I just told you I'm out of money. We can't buy anything else for Miss Cheerilee.
So, we'll improvise. How are you at arts and crafts?
I'm pretty good. After all, a proper filly must be skilled in art as well.
Diamond Tiara replied smugly. Awesome. I have some crayons and stuff at my house. We can make a card for Cheerilee.
A card? That's so...
Silence, you fool!
She just invited you over your house. Just nod and go with it. That's a great idea!
Let's get to your place. Cool. Hop in. Diamond Tiara was too giddy with excitement to scream this time, as the scooter and wagon sped towards Scootaloo's house.